Now back to live coverage on the CRN Sports Network.
Looking for a life insurance company that specializes in what you actually need? Protection. Call Danny today with Symmetry Financial. Danny is certified in all 50 states, which means Symmetry Financial is not limited and has over 30 companies to choose from. Symmetry Financial has proved time and time again that their options and pricing is just better than the rest. Give Danny a call today at 828-994-1681 to see how Symmetry Financial can make life simple. This is CRN, the Community Radio Network, the voice of the community, the voice of anything sports, and proud to be the voice of the Comets. Follow us at crnsports.org. Now let's get back to the broadcast coverage on CRN.
This episode is an exclusive production solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission of the accounts without the express written consent or permission is restricted and prohibited. To hear this replay or other previous podcasts, download on iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, and TuneIn. As always, this show is for you. Thank you for listening.
We are anxiously awaiting the moments when the governors across the U.S. and our President of the United States and our government of Washington finally make the announcement that we are allowed to gather and flock as one in the dirt track racing community. We're hoping for that hopefully within the next month, as a lot of the states that cover dirt track racing, like Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, all at the helm of this pandemic. But one thing for certain, there's drivers, there's talents, and there's always something about that red clay slinging. Welcome to another CRN podcast. This is episode 2 of Red Clay Life. I'm Wesley Outland, and joining me from Boyd Speedway and the Liberty News Network 75 Radio from Cleveland, Tennessee, Mr. Mike Guerin. Mike, happy Wednesday night to you, buddy. Hump day!
Hump day, Mike. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. It seems like it's day 875.
It's fun being quarantined,
working from home.
Hey, listen. So I went through like since March 15th. I've had the courtesy of having nice home cooked meals and being able to visit my parents and stay with them while we're dealing with all this craziness going on, and visit them and spending time with them, and not being able to get the nice, delicious meals that my girlfriend Megan can normally cook. And so, bottom line is, I've not had any junk food, greasy cheeseburgers in a while. So I got to thank the folks at Wendy's and DoorDash for being able to drop me off some delicious food. The only problem is, Mike Guerin, is they dropped it off while we're getting ready for the radio show. So I got to wait for this food. Oh. I got to wait to devour it after we go off the air. So, yes. Yeah, and you got dogs barking in the background, man. Who let the dogs out?
I'm texting my wife to shut him up.
Oh, don't be like that. Hey, so have you seen the phenomenon that everybody is watching on the world of Netflix, Tiger King? Have you seen that stuff yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, don't.
Okay. Very good. I won't look it up.
Listen, I will just say this. If you can get past the whole gayness, okay, because I know we're straight men. If you can get past the whole gayness and this, having 5 husbands two different husbands, and then, all sorts of other crazy shenanigans that are involved in it, it's actually not a pretty damn bad TV episode series. I actually started watching it. A friend of mine talked to me about it yesterday. And it was like, hey, man, if you – and I started seeing all these memes and things on social media about Tiger King, and I was like, okay. So, finally I just decided to hop on Netflix this afternoon, not really doing anything except working on some emails. And I said, okay, I'm gonna see what this Tiger King is all about. By the first episode, second episode, all I know is there is deceit, gayness, crazy lions, tigers, and bears, and supposedly there's a woman that is like the bitch of all bitches, and she is supposedly killed her husband by feeding him to the tigers. So I don't know. I might watch it.
That sounds like sounds like one of my ex-wives.
Yes. So, and they can't prove it. That's the thing. They can't prove it. They can't prove whether it happened or whether it didn't happen. So, but, hey, nonetheless, hey, man, we missed Star Track racing, don't we, Mike Guerin? I mean, seriously, bud.
Oh, absolutely. It's, thankfully, I'm still able to go and just kind of hang out, and we're doing a few little things. But as far as the shows themselves, yes, I'm ready to get back wide open.
Now, I know that you had a what would I say? A practice. Y'all been having open practices at Boyd Speedway, and we're going to talk to Kenny Slayton here in a little bit about that here on the show. But you guys kind of monitor everything, though, right? Talk about how you kind of man everything before we get our first guest on the line tonight on Red Clay Life.
Yes, I wouldn't actually call it an open practice. It's I think the word that Kenny has come up with is controlled practice.
There you go, controlled practice sessions.
It's a controlled practice.
Good cover.
Exactly. Through Kenny's great technological ingenuity, he puts up on our page through my race pass,
right,
10 spots. The drivers go in there and they pay their fee. They're allowed 4 people.
Okay.
And there's 10 spots. So total of 40 people spread out all over there. And you remember how large our pits are. So we spread them out. They stay in their area. There's no interaction with, the staff or anybody else. They get in their car. They go out on the track. Pretty cool deal.
And basically you mandate it where, certain people are allowed to come on the racetrack. There's a limit of how many fans or crew members are with each team, with each car. You have to do that. I mean, I hate to say it. You got to try to find a way to make sure everybody is following the rules, Mike Guerin.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the most important thing is the safety of everybody. Even during race time, we're solely focused on safety, and we're not letting up. We've taken so many precautions and trying to do this. As I said last night on our roundtable,
yes,
some people kind of think, well, we're taking advantage of the situation and making money. We got drivers beating the door down, wanting to come shake the cars down. But
the fact of the matter is, though, Mike, is the tracks, they've got to find a way to make income. Because I'm going to be honest with you here before we get Charlie Ray Howell on the line. I'll be honest with this subject. The tracks that are owned by track owners, I think they're going to be okay. And I say that in a 70-30 certainty.
Yes.
The ones that are leasing racetracks, that have monthly leases, that have to pay leases whether you race or not, they're the ones that I believe we're going to see folding up their tents first. Unless there's going to be some type of a clause. And I don't know if there's a way where we can do a petition or if there's something we can present to Washington. We need to find a way to take care of dirt track racing or short tracks across America. But then if we open up that Pandora's box, there's going to be, you need to take care of baseball. You need to take care of football. You need to take care of soccer. So it's like we're all in this together with what's going on. So
exactly.
It's just a matter of everybody just trying to, put on the big girl panties, big boy panties, whatever you want to call it, and just try to find the best way to cope with this situation we are dealing with. So, but my fear, though, Mike Guerin, is that we are going to lose racetracks and other businesses because of what's happened with this pandemic.
Oh, absolutely. This is killing small-town America. The large corporations and things like that, they'll pull out. Thankfully, with this stimulus package, some of the small businesses are going to be okay, we hope. But, just the other day here in Tennessee, the unemployment rate spiked 1,300%
Wow.
in one day. 1,300. But I will say the governor in his executive order, and I've read it several times as of the 31st. That was last night at midnight, wasn't it? I don't even know what day it is. Tennessee has the stay-at-home
Yeah, they
order.
announced Florida this afternoon, and by the way, that wasn't an April Fool's joke. I know some people were thinking, hey, they're playing pranks on us, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, it's not an April Fool's joke. We're seriously having to do this, and
yes, and there is a provision in the Tennessee governor's executive order governing recreation, outdoor recreation, as long as it's controlled, very small numbers, and all the precautions that's been set forth are followed, they can proceed. But here's the crazy thing. Our pits are in Tennessee, and we race in Georgia. So I don't know what Georgia's...
Yeah, you're kind of in one of those situations where basically you're at the Georgia-Tennessee state line between the two, right? Between Boyd Speedway, am I right? Like the pits and the track is somewhere... Ain't that how it is?
Yes, absolutely. We pit in Tennessee and race in Georgia.
Well,
it's amazing.
Technically, I would say your residence, your physical address is Ringgold, Georgia.
That's correct.
So you would think that your track would operate under the Georgia mandate. That's what I would think. I would think that that's what you would have to do. Now, Tennessee, even though you park your haulers and everything is there in Tennessee, I would still think that even if it's a Tennessee address or a Georgia address, Mike, that you would still be able to race there with what's going on. Which they're shutting down Georgia, too. There's a lot of craziness going on, for sure. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And rightfully so, because people, sadly, have to be told what to do because of that lack of that crazy word I said the other night, common sense.
I think the word is entitlement also. I think we live in a world today where people feel like they're entitled that, I don't have to do what our country or government tells us to do. I don't have to do what my governor tells me to do. They have no control over us. Well, and I'm not saying that our freedoms are being taken away because they are, but the reason why they're being taken away is in the interest of trying to protect us and keep us safe. That's the reason why. If people will do their part, if they'll stay their ass at home, don't be out unless you absolutely have to, like essential people. I think about my dad. He's a truck driver, and he works for Cargo, been working for him for over a dozen years. And I think about it, and he goes out on the road, and then he comes back home, and he has to deliver all the products and the foods and things. You think about all the other people that are doing what they're doing, the drives, the people that are essential, per se, the medical week people, the fire, rescue, police, our military, so many people there. So, hey, listen, we are going to go to the phone lines, and we are going to catch up with our first guest on Red Clay Life. And by the way, you can follow us at hashtag Red Clay Life on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are also located on all of the podcast outlets available for live and replay, including Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Deezer, and Podcast Addict. iTunes Radio, Tuned In Radio as well. And, of course, you can also just go to crnsports.org, and we're going to